Let me say a few things about the background of the science of adaptation, which is where I've been mostly involved, primarily in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC third assessment report, then the fourth assessment report, and now the ongoing and upcoming fifth assessment report, which comes out in 2014. The science of adaptation and the concepts of adaptation have evolved over this period of time. We started off thinking of adapting to climate change in what is now termed adaptation in situ. People living in vulnerable places of the world whose livelihoods are going to be affected. We want to help them to be able to cope with those additional stresses that are going to be coming through climate change, to enable them to continue their livelihoods where they are in the face of these stresses. But we now realize that some places on the planet, particularly low-lying coastal areas, some dryland, mid-continental areas, and some low-lying islands, will simply not be inhabitable in the next 30, 40 years. The people living there will not be able to continue their lives. And so simply helping them to continue there may be useful in the short term, but is not going to be enough in the long term. So part of the adaptation strategy, therefore, has to be how to enable them to be able to be relocated in a sensible, in a manner that helps them rather than forces them to leave. And so this issue of migration or assisted migration or relocation now becomes part of an adaptation strategy. And in fact, if you look at the Bangladesh Climate Change Strategy and Action Plan, it's one of the first adaptation plans that actually recognizes that migration needs to be accepted as an adaptation strategy, and it's the responsibility of the state within countries to help their population, but of the global community at the international level to assist countries that are not going to be able to do it internally. If an island country goes underwater, the inhabitants simply cannot live there. They're going to have to go somewhere else. This is an unprecedented problem, something we've never faced before. So we're going to have to think of international solutions in international law to deal with them. We now move on to another problem, and we are just at the beginning of this, which is that adaptation has limits. We cannot adapt to everything. There will be some losses. There will be lives lost. There will be ecosystems lost. There will be land lost. Once it's gone, it's gone. It will not be brought back. If the temperature comes down or the concentrations of GHGs come down, they don't come back. The people who have lost their lives don't come back. So there is going to be an inevitable loss